Hi YouTube, this is Eric. I wanted to do this video on Billie Eilish, just talking about her Tourette's and the tic that she has. It's something that really actually brings a lot of awareness when it comes to mental health and mental illness, because it's something that wasn't really well known, and it's amazing how we can almost bully, misinterpret somebody when we don't know the full story. I've been a fan of Billie Eilish ever since Ocean Eyes. It blew my mind. I'm a huge music lover. I think that she's an amazing artist. So I can't wait to share with you my impact that it's had with me on actually bringing awareness of what it means to really understand somebody and what they may be going through and not predetermining a decision. So if you haven't clicked the like and subscribe button, click the like and subscribe button. Let's do this together. Hi YouTube, this video is about Billie Eilish, and if you don't know who Billie Eilish is, I'm a huge music lover. Her first really hit song, Ocean Eyes, it blew me away. It was one of my favorite songs. It still is on a lot of my different playlists. I love her music. I love her voice. I love the different pitches she has. I love how she is as an artist. So there's a lot about her that I really love. I'm a big fan of hers. I say when it comes to like Halsey and a lot of the other ones. But Billie Eilish was really somebody that I learned a lot about, especially when it came to here just recently when she was on the Ellen show and she was going over and talking about how she has Tourette's and a tic. Now, a lot of people didn't realize and even took it as being rude that she was doing eye rolls.
That you have Tourette's syndrome and that it comes out at certain times.
And I was at a park and there was no bathrooms.
My best friend's wedding at 19 years old.
I've never met myself. You've never met yourself. So how can you know what run or have to do something?
Yeah, we got on a run.
Well, but part of it as well, with this final question, can I assume then you don't really feel pressure? Some of the songs are very much from your own experience, and Billie, like, how much of yourself do you, and this is going to sound weird, but how much?
Good City with us here on the Kevin and Bean Show. By the way, there's one more teenage question I have to ask.
But that was actually her tic from Tourette's that she had actually learned to control. I know a lot of different people that have Tourette's, and I have a really good friend of mine that actually will drum it out. It's amazing, and he's an amazing drummer too. Just controlling the tics alone is a bit of a challenge, but it's one of those things that a lot of times people don't share. And let's face it, when it comes to mental health and mental illness, whatever it is that we're going through, a lot of times we don't share, we don't want to share. It's kind of our own private battle in a sense. And again, I'm not diagnosing her or anything like that. I'm just sharing what I found was really great enough way of awareness of, here's a lot of people that thought that she was a bitch in a sense because she eye-rolled so much. And if you really dig in, you'll find out that she is so hands-on with her fans. That's one of the things I love about artists is when they're very hands-on with their fans. There's some really great videos. I mean, she gives fans a lot of props when they do covers and stuff of her songs even and do a good job. When you watch her in different interviews, you'll watch her almost do a complete eye roll. Well, that's a Tourette's tic. And if you're not familiar with what a tic is, here's the definition of what a tic is. It is something very common when it comes to Tourette's. How I relate that to mental health is in the sense of anybody who's struggling out there, our body language and what we do with our facial features and what we do with our body language, that communication is huge and it can be misinterpreted so many times. That's why when you text somebody, you can piss somebody off so easily with text because they can't see your facial features, they can't see your body language because there's so much communication that goes along with that. That, let's face it, there's such thing as called resting bitch face or resting dick face. There's one for men and one for women. You can Google them both. I have resting dick face, and for me, when I'm out, it's actually a defense mechanism for me. Sometimes when I'm dealing with social anxiety, I really don't want to talk to anybody. That if somebody does smile at me though, all of a sudden I'm going to smile back and it makes me feel warm, it makes me feel comforted. Is one of those that we can't judge other people by just what happens unless we know what their backstory is. And that's a lot of times where bullying and stuff comes into play or misjudgment comes into play, and we're so quick to judge somebody. Being ADHD even, I can get bored with conversations in my brain, and I don't do it on purpose. Just like somebody with Tourette's, they can't control the spasms on purpose. With ADHD, I can't control my brain. If it gets bored with the conversation, all of a sudden I'm thinking of other conversations. All of a sudden I ask a question, I go, huh? And it comes off rude. Just like with Billie Eilish, where, her eye roll came off like that she was eye rolling somebody and that she was almost being rude or not paying attention or bored. The same thing happens with people with ADHD. And we get judged for it. And one of the biggest things that we can't do is don't judge people for it. And if you see somebody doing something that is a physical type of communication, my suggestion is, ask them, bring it up and say, hey, am I boring you? And a lot of times we'll explain. You know, if somebody looks at me eventually and says, "Hey, you're not listening to me," I'm going to tell them, "No, I'm ADHD, and actually I'm really having a little bit of trouble right now controlling my thought process, and I'm literally not catching all the conversation because my brain is drifting, and it's not something I'm trying to do." When we get that open communication like that, it's amazing, because now all of a sudden we're not taking offense to that. Any guards that went up all of a sudden go back down, and allows the communication to really take place. Because let's face it, when it comes to mental health, mental illness, I mean, so much of it is sharing and getting it off our chest and being able to connect with other people. That's something that we can't always seem to do. So learning the backstory of what somebody struggled with is huge. It's so important, and it's so important not to jump to those conclusions. I mean, you have an amazing artist like Billie Eilish that, I mean, she got famous at like 14. I mean, most people are like, at 14, I'm getting diagnosed with ADHD. At 14, she's writing a fucking smash hit song, Ocean Eyes. It was really odd because, you know, no one really ever talked to her about her eye roll that appeared, or looking off in the distance that appeared that was her tic, and took it as her being rude. It's amazing what happens when you ask people of their story. You know, ask questions. When people are sharing and when we're struggling, ask them questions. Get them involved in the conversation. Because let's face it, a lot of times we don't know how to share. We don't know even how to share that. I don't know how to share my ADHD if I get bored in the conversation, because I don't want to offend the person. I don't want to look at them and say, "Hey, by the way, I just got bored with the conversation. I missed completely all the shit that you just said." They're going to stare at me and be like, "You rude son of a bitch. Like, you don't care what I'm saying." It's not that I don't care what somebody's saying. It's that my brain will drift. I mean, it's like a bunch of different fireworks going off that I can't control. Just like when it comes to a tic, it's a muscle spasm that you can't necessarily control at all. You can do your tics in different forms. You know, like I just mentioned, I have a friend that does his drums. That a lot of times we think of Tourette's that it's stigmatized, that it's just people that randomly throw out curse words or spurt out curse words, and we don't realize that that's not necessarily what Tourette's is. It's learning and opening up our mind and learning about something that erases the stigma. And just like with ADHD, you know, you see somebody that's hyper running around in the playground, or you see somebody who's just energetic, and you go, "Oh, they're ADHD or they're ADD," and you just throw out these words randomly without really knowing the backing behind it, is what starts to really create that stigma. That how we erase that stigma is ask them questions. You're not going to offend somebody if they eye roll you. They're going to tell you, and you know what? If you have a blunt friend that does an eye roll or says that I'm not paying attention, and you go, "Am I not interested in you?" and they say, "No, you're not." There's nothing wrong with that either, because that's communication. If we worry about feeling so much and offending other people, you know what kind of friendship is that? My best friends will tell me the shit that I don't want to hear sometimes. And that's all right. It's okay. And that, you know what, that helps me grow as a human being. I mean, I have so much respect for Billie Eilish and being open about the Tourette's and being open about how her tic is, that it makes me respect her even more as an artist. Not alone that you know, she's a great music producer. Her videos are very intense and different. That gives it kind of that shock value. The lyrics, I think, are very strong, but also how kind and genuine of a human being it is. And what you're going to find is a lot of times with people with like resting dick face or resting bitch face or ADHD, we're very genuine and kind people. It's not that we're trying to be mean or come off, you know, that we're not interested or come off bored or come off mean. It's just how we are as a person, and we have to kind of, almost in a sense, be able to explain that so that others understand and they don't take offense to it. And once we have that comfort, it's a lot easier, and people don't take offense then all of a sudden when I'm like, "Hey, what did you say?" And they're like, "What, was there like a red ball or something going by?" And we'll even make fun of it, because you can't be overly sensitive or get offended very easily. I mean, come on, we gotta make fun of it a little bit, because if we take it too serious, then all of a sudden we're walking on all these eggshells around everybody, and I don't want to offend them, and I don't want to offend them, and I don't want to offend them, and next thing you know, I might as well just close ourselves off, because eventually we're going to offend somebody, and we don't mean to. But again, I give mad props to Billie Eilish, not just for her music talent, for what she's done as an artist, but also for the awareness that it brings into even a mental health, mental illness community, of the importance of body language and what body language really shows. And if you don't understand somebody's body language, if their face seems like they're angry, or if they seem like they're eye rolling you, or they seem like they're bored, or if they're all of a sudden hypomanic, or you see the mood swing shifts and you don't get it, ask. You're not going to offend people by asking. And that's the one thing that we sometimes forget is, and I won't say this goes for everybody again, it's only my own personal experiences that I can share from, but if somebody asks me, oh my God, it's weight off my chest. Like, I can share and let them know kind of how my brain works a little bit. And now we really have true and good conversations, and they realize how I am as a human being, and I understand then how they are as a human being. Because if we don't get that baseline of communication down, we get the wrong communication of body language versus what the word somebody is saying, or how somebody is paying attention, or maybe the mood swings that they're going through. That it's all about asking questions, and don't be afraid to ask those questions. It's not being rude, it's not being inconsiderate, because a lot of times with us, or at least I should say not with us, but with me, with my ADHD, I get very comfortable also when somebody asks me a question of like, are you having trouble paying attention? You know, am I boring you? Because then it gives me a chance to explain to them kind of what I struggle with. Because I don't just flat out usually say with people, hey, guess what, I'm ADHD. So in this conversation that we're gonna have, because we've never even fucking met before, if I seem like I'm bored, it means that I literally am like brain bored with you, but I wanna be part of the conversation. So you gotta keep like sparking my brain and asking me questions and keep it involved. Otherwise it's gonna drift off to another conversation. Just like even if you're just talking to somebody and they happen to have Tourette's and they have a tic and they're doing something that you don't quite understand, ask them. It's so much more comforting just to get it all out there instead of we're trying to hold it all back and hide it back because we don't quite know how to share it, and we don't know how to say, hey, this is what I'm struggling with right now. Or, hey, you know, the face that looked really angry, I'm actually a really nice guy and I'd really like to get to know you better, and I don't want to scare you off because it looks like I'm scowling at you. It's just how my face is mustered, and it's one of my defense mechanisms. It's all about communication. I mean, communication solves so much when we're open and we talk about it. So I'm glad that Billie Eilish, you know, brought this out and was able to share about it, because it brings a lot of understanding even to Tourette's, but it also brings a great lesson and learning value to understanding how somebody's, you know, body communication can be so misinterpreted, and especially when it comes to mental health and mental illness, how we misinterpret things so many times when it comes to body language. So be aware of that. Anyways, I want to thank you for watching this. If you haven't clicked the like and subscribe button, click the like and subscribe button. If you don't even know who Billie Eilish is, go check her out. She is an amazing, 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 amazing artist. Love her music. Ocean Eyes is probably on my top 10 favorite songs. Great song, and I mean, she actually produced this with her brother at such a young age and wrote it that it blows me away. It shows true talent and true ability, and there's amazing how many artists and people with these special gifts are out there. Have other things too going on in their life that maybe we don't know about, and maybe we should ask. It's just making a difference in somebody's life, and that's what people helping people's all about. So again, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you haven't clicked the like and subscribe button, click the like and subscribe button. The whole channel is about mental health, mental illness, suicide awareness, sobriety, and just me sharing experiences, tools, resources, anything I can to make life a little bit easier for somebody out there who's struggling silently. So love you guys. Thank you so much. Again, click the like and subscribe button. Click all the links below if you want to join me on any of the social medias. And again, let's do this together.